Hello everyone. I'm just coming on here today because I have some questions. I feel like none of my questions are getting addressed, and I feel like I'm asking them, but yet nobody really wants to address them, and that's okay because I will publicly ask them, and here I am. I'm getting some troll accounts asking me, or basically stating, hey, I'm a Kyle fan, because I've posted a video where it's very clear. Steve McRae posted a whole week's worth of Katie Joy spam on his Twitter. This was right before he decided to make everything private. But I'm sorry cold hard facts harm you people, because that doesn't make me a Kyle supporter. I don't even know Kyle. I've never even watched a Kyle show. But I do have questions about Kyle, because I've just been entertaining it all. So now I want to know, why did Kyle have Steve's channel to begin with? Because personally, I wouldn't just hand over my channel to somebody. And it was somewhere that Steve said that Kyle was holding it for him, just like his money. And so that leads me to believe that even though he was in the service, he had some sort of money restriction, because there's no reason, rhyme, explanation, anything that explains to me why he would have just handed over his channel, his money, waited to get it. Whatever the case was, clearly he didn't just give it to him. So I think that's quite ballsy to even take someone to court knowing that you're trying to scam, I guess, the government. I mean, he actually says Medi-Cal would have been affected had he just chosen to be paid. I don't really know what that means. I don't know if that's government benefits. I don't know what that is. But ultimately, that would be looked at and frowned upon where I come from, because if you're trying to shadily make money and not report it, then therefore you've got a problem. But the whole argument now, people want to say, is that Kyle thinks he's going to get money from his response to the court. I don't necessarily believe that he's gonna, or that he should. I think he showed that the business wasn't as profitable as Steve would have believed it to be, because Kyle put in 90% of the work and Steve put in 10%. So I can see how or why Steve wouldn't understand that it did take a lot to get the show to where it was, and a lot of work and effort that he didn't put in. But I don't necessarily see that Kyle should be paid for his work because it was a partnership. But I also don't think that Steve should be allowed to just take the show now and use all of his imaging and everything that he's done as far as his hard work and just continue on as if the show still exists, when it really doesn't. And Nate Brody and Anti-Ordinary just did an episode earlier I listened to, where it's not really clear if the show got handed to Steve or if it's still 50-50. I can't imagine they'll be able to work together. So what's going to be up with that? And he did hand him over the passwords and whatnot, but then Kyle stated that he was keeping secondary ownership or sole. It's all so confusing, but so many people are involved and know about it. So, I mean, I guess I want to feel included and comment. I don't know, but I'm not a fan of either people. I'm not one of those people that are going to swear an oath or allegiance to block anyone that anyone is disassociated with. I just have an opinion. I like to talk about my opinion, and I like to ask questions. Steve McRae, he took his whole Twitter down and made it private after my little video showing that he's clearly obsessed with Katie Joy, which I still don't get why. I mean, does he just have a crush on her? Who knows? But it'll be interesting to find out what comes out of all this, because ultimately I just feel like both people are guilty, but Steve is still a bad person. He just has been attacking Katie Joy for months, and then when somebody asks him, you know, why can you be so nasty, but the second someone's nasty back to you, that's just what it is. Oh, okay. Makes perfect logical sense to me. You've got a degree and work on nuclear whatever. Just can't. He just screams shady salesman to me, and I can't. I just could never take him seriously. I never watched a single thing that he did, so I'm just impartial. Same thing with Kyle. Well, Kyle hasn't been around lately, so I haven't had a chance, but I mean, I don't care really. But it would be funny if the judge did take this paperwork into account and decide that Steve doesn't get all this monetary gain like he had assumed he was going to. That would just really make a lot of people giggle. Have a good day. Now, here's where a random Steve McRae sock account troll commented underneath my last video of his Twitter rants on Katie Joy. Yeah, enjoy.